I have missed seeing that background. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to All Four Back, episode 44. I am, of course, Chester430, and I'm joined, as always, by Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, all.
And a good evening to Shad. Good evening, sir.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Not too bad. And also a special welcome to Tank as well. Good evening, sir. If you're on your mic, obviously, I don't think you are. There he is. Good evening, chaps. Apologies for the slight delay in start time tonight. Of course, being back at work, we've decided to change the time from 8 to 8:15 to allow me to get home from my evening shifts. But of course, chaps, we are entering the business end of the season now. Not many matches to go now. So title implications and different league aspirations are pretty much on the cusp in these next few weeks. On tonight's show, we're going to take a look back at the week 22. We had 3 matches in week 22. We're going to look at the league table to see what all those results from the past week have done to the standings. We had of course, Shad's Rider of the Week. There was a lot of contenders for Rider of the Week this week, and I'm sure Shad's has whittled them down to get the right one for the Rider of the Week. And then, of course, we have our GP previews from Ross Pagana, round 6 of the SCS and BGP. So, without further ado, we're going to crack on with the Week 22 league reviews. And we started off at the Hyde Spartans as they took on the Newcastle Piemen. And as you see there on screen, the Hyde Spartans took a commanding 53-37 home win, led, of course, by Toretto, only dropping 1 point all meeting. That was in Heat 15, where Powys got the better of him. Had you were in this meeting, tough meeting for the Piemen. But I say a 53-37 defeat for you, lads. But just talk us through how you think it went, despite the scoreline.
Same old, really. At the moment, obviously, we're running with the 6 riders we have left, and to be fair, I think the scoreline probably doesn't show. I think we gave it probably a decent. The racing was a lot closer than a 16-point win for the Spartans. I mean, they had Ryan racing on Wi-Fi from a hotel as well, I believe. Hence the 5+2 score. But I think most of it, obviously we didn't get enough race wins. Obviously we only had 4, Paris with 3 of those and Westy with the other one. The rest of us obviously still need to do better, but it's a case of getting there and thereabouts. So obviously, when we're not winning races, packing in a lot for 3-3s and trying to do the best we can. Obviously, there as well, Alan starting to be a bit more competitive as well, number 6, which is good, always good to see. But it's one of those, unfortunately. Obviously, there 6 Westy scoring 6 and 1 is in the top scorers heat. I mean, that's not really. I mean, obviously, that's a good score from him into the nominateds. But for the rest of us, we should be doing better, basically. But take nothing away from the Spartans. They were quick from the gate and they were gone, basically. I mean, most of the heats when they gated, especially Toretto on that purple bike. I mean, how he did a 0.2 in Heat 4 from the outside on purple, I'll never know. But it's one of those. We expected to lose, I think, to be honest, as well. So, but I asked a couple of days earlier in the chat, and have a bit of fault about us, and we seem to do that a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking at the Spartans team, and of course, as the meeting progressed, only seeing, because normally Ben Thompson and Racer Ryan would score more than what they scored that night. Obviously, Ben Thompson only scoring 3 points from 5, and then Ryan having 5 from 2, going on Wi-Fi from a hotel room, which is not the ideal situation. Yeah. Do you think if Ben Thompson and Racer Ryan had a bit more, like if they were like at home or they were not using Wi-Fi, would it have been a much different scoreline? Do you think? Do you think it would be a much different scoreline, being obviously with Racer Ryan and Ben Thompson not performing as well?
Yeah, obviously we all know Ryan's better than 5+2. I mean, he's only scored 3rd places there in the meeting. But obviously Ben as well came out with a good win in his last one. But we know he's better. We know he's better than 3 points. So yeah, but it's still the same. They've got the same amount of points for winning, so I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. But a couple of unfortunate incidents as well for myself in the one heat 9, I believe. I mean, Hobnob and DL, they was gone. The gated and they were gone. But I almost did Baz up there. I thought I was doing him up the inside last lap, last bend, but he avoided me on the cutback. So fair play to him for that one. And in I think heat 12, I had Ryan beat and then went in the grass on the last bend, and then he took me as well. So it's one of them. A couple of points more could have been scored, but
yeah,
one of those. I think obviously must do better, and we got a nice match coming up next against the Cowboys, so it doesn't exactly get any easier.
oof.
Oh, best of luck with that one.
Yeah. That could potentially be a title deciding match for the Cowboys in that one. Dear me. But yeah, I mean, to say, great ride there for a great win there for Hyde. Obviously, they consolidate second place now in the league table. Behind
that's five meetings on the spin now. 5 wins on the spin now for the Spartans.
Yeah. So Spartans are going into the tail end of the season with momentum. So, like, one slip from the Cowboys, they could spring a surprise. All they've got to do is win a couple matches, and the league title could go down to the last match. Anyways, moving on to our second match we had, and it was the Plymouth Panthers against the Hackney Norse, and oh boy, this one had everything. The Hackney Norse taking a 48-42 away win. And I will say this now, a little bit of trivia for you guys. Hutty has become the first non-Norse rider as a guest. So they've had like rider placements on that, but Hutty was the first guest that the Norse has ever used outside their own country. And that point he got proved crucial with that 48-42 win. Of course, Shad, you were in this meeting. You had a really good match, 12+1 from 7 right. A bit of a blip in your 6th right there. You want to talk us through it and let us know what happened?
I'm blaming Baz for that one. You put me off.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It was I had hopes we'd get something out of it, to be honest with you. When I saw the North lineup, I thought, Mackinnon, bless him, coming in at number 2. Obviously, on his day can be quite decent, but I think the track suited him very well. But then after the first sort of 3 heats, we were like 8 points down. I thought, oh God, here we go again. But we rallied a little bit. I think we pulled level with them sort of towards the middle of the meeting. But then we just fell away again towards the end. Not the best of nights for our middle pair. I think Scotty that day had just got back from holiday, so he hadn't had many laps. We had a great guest in Hobnob. He was didn't get a last place. Did very well. Probably scored what Skyrider would have scored. He didn't let us down at all. Great to have someone like Hobnob about who just jumped in and helps out other teams. He's always available. Doesn't complain, just gets on with it. And having a number 1 again is a massive boost. I mean, it's our 3rd number 1 this season. We lost Barney after a meeting. I think Crook disappeared after 2 meetings, and now we got Limo, who's always there, helping out, showing us lines and stuff like that. I didn't do too bad. Got a surprise win in heat 15. I actually made a gate. I think the first one I made in the meeting. Yeah, I'd like to have got something out of the meeting, but I wasn't expecting anything after the first 3 heats. But hey ho, we go to the Warriors next week, which is probably going to be our most important meeting of the season. Avoiding that wooden spoon.
Powers has just corrected me there. Norse used plenty of guests last season, so Hutty was definitely not there the first ever. Oh, my apologies, Powers. I honestly thought that was the case because obviously we've had, when they've had guests and all that, I haven't seen I didn't see his name in the I think Hobnob said it there as well and all that. I'm sure we can clarify that.
The first non-Swedish guest this season.
That's what it was. That's what I meant. The first non-Swedish guest this season.
Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. But talking about Hackney, even though Hutty only scored that one solitary point, they were just consistent throughout. Max 12 points, Dretlotka 13 points, Fakey 13 points, Tanny paid 12 as well. A really strong sort of. It's like at the start of the season, Hackney surprised a lot of us because they were winning and they were winning big. I think their first 3-4 home matches they were winning by 60 plus, if I'm right in saying, because that was literally they surprised us, top of the table, unbeaten, big wins at home, but they seem to just drop just ever so slightly towards the tail end of the season. Do you think it's just commitment and maintaining that same sort of oomph they had at the start of the season, Shaz? Do you think that?
I just think it depends on. I think because they're an hour ahead. I think a lot of them have problems with work and stuff like that. I know Mackinnon works shift, who's obviously not available a lot of the time. I think they were missing Julio as well. So, I mean, the riders they got who seem to ride every week, like Locker and Feckley, they've kept up their scoring, and Max is a terrific number one. I think it's just the fact their availability this season. I don't think they've given up. I just think it's the fact that, like you said, momentum as well, missing riders, and they've had some tough meetings the last couple of weeks. I think they should have got a little bit. They would have got a little bit more at our place. I mean, they missed out on the 4 points win. If they'd have had Mackinnon, I'm pretty sure they would have got a bigger win. What do they get? What do they get from rider replacement? I think they got 6 points. Yeah, I think you'd have thought Mackinnon would have probably scored more than that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, Mackinnon were having that such a we're having
especially at Plymouth, which is pretty much a gators track, and also pretty rapid from the gate from what we saw anyway. From what I've seen them this season, most of them are pretty quick away. So it's not a track you can make a lot of ground on unless someone in front makes a mistake. There's only one proper line at Plymouth, and if you stay on it, it's very difficult to get past. Hence, I won Heat 15 because I gated.
Yeah, and that was good. But also, whilst we're on the subject of this meeting here, we did have a small matter of the silver helmet, which was actually held by Max at the moment, or Max before that meeting. But as you see there, Limo was at his best and is now the silver helmet holder.
And he didn't have to be. Max didn't complete a lap in either of his races.
Oh.
Limo gated him, and I think Max just gave up.
Oh wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a new silver helmet holder. Mr. Limo, congratulations, sir. I know you're in the chat now, so congratulations, me old mate. Great to have you back on.
So I'm going to say he was well ahead of Max at the time.
Yeah. So that was the Panthers and Norse review. We're now going to move on to the final match that took place this week, and it was the current league leaders, the Poole Cowboys, taking on bottom of the table, Rye House Warriors, and my goodness, Tank, if you're able to speak, mate, just what the heck happened in this one? Because that was complete annihilation.
Well, it might have been easier to say what didn't happen. No, in
Practice.
Well, practice would have been good, yes. No, obviously it didn't go to plan, and yeah, we didn't have great prep for this one, and with the prep or without it, if I'm to be brutally honest, and this is no way hitting out at any of my team and that, because I think we would have lost this one. When a team are on form like the Cowboys are, they're pretty, hard to beat, and especially at home. Yeah, we had our challenges, but you just have to concede and just say that they were the better team, and it was unlike Craig to score 4+1. It didn't help, even by his own admission. He thought it was Glasgow up until Heat 1. So, so it's not the greatest start, but it happens. And I think this is the first, well, at least this season, it's the first meeting that he's not been in Heat 15. So he went from riding at his last meeting getting 7 rides to just the 5, and probably his lowest score for quite some time. So
Yeah, I was looking at during the meeting, I sort of came in and followed the spreadsheet, and seeing Craig score that little, I'm like, that is not the Craig that I knew from back riding when I was back riding in season 3. Like, he was scoring like 12, 13s, 14s, 15s a match. But seeing Craig do that, I'm like, I was shocked. But he did get a 5-1 with Hutty in Heat 14.
yeah, but to be honest,
I
they
think
should have had 2 before that, because it started well, but it just went Heat Tom. But that 5-1, I'm gonna be honest on that. I enjoyed it. I laughed, and I was trying to go into Heat 15. I was still laughing as I got reaching the tapes, and it was just the manner in way it happened, to be honest. And it was the only, got to find a positive somewhere. But it was definitely a Craig move. He definitely got, he found something from somewhere out of a bad night to just pull off something, So.
And I was
Crazy.
I was refereeing, and I was praying that Lango would get his maximum. He let me down again.
Oh dear. But we've got to say, of course, another congrats to obviously Steph and the way he's been riding another maximum at home. And like I said, this team that the Cowboys have put together, potential league champions. Oh dear, says Look in the chat. Oh dear me. Oh. Thank you.
Someone got a cow in their living room.
Oh dear. My God.
Dear.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Some of a souped up car by the sounds of it. But anyway, I'll say the Cowboys led by Stephen with a 15-point max. I mean, around Paul, he's pretty much been the star man for the team, but everyone chipped in. Lango with a 10+3. Bobby dropped one. Well, Bobby paid max as well. Steam 101 racked up 3 heat wins, finished on 10 points, and having Rico at reserve scoring 8+3. I mean, it's still, that is a decent score for him for all of them. Even that super dip non-starter in heat. Where was it? In heat 2 was something to behold. We have an extra voice in the chat, Mr. Haddington.
It's my little boy. It's okay. It's my little boy. He's seen Paris's hot dogs. He loves hot dogs.
Oh dear. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. But yeah, as like I said again, with the Cowboys are looking, on top of the table, potential league champions when they go to the Pinemen next. So yeah, but as we look at the league table, as I said, with only a few matches left to go, the Poole Cowboys currently on 30 points, Hyde on 27, Hackney, the early leaders, were on 25, Birmingham 16, Newcastle 10, Plymouth on 5, and Rye House on 3 points. So again, you're looking at three separate conclusions there. You've got the top two, then you've got third, fourth, and fifth, and then sixth and seventh. So everyone's going to be battling.
Can I just say that in Panthers 5 points have all happened since I arrived.
Oh, dear me.
You can have another 3 at the end if you want as well.
Yeah, 33. Put them top. So that's the league table. We're now going to switch gears and bring in you, Shads, for your, as always, Rider of the Week. And of course, there was a lot of big talking points. There was quite a few up for your nominations. So before you give the Rider of the Week, can you give some honourable mentions whilst you're around?
Yeah, my little one's chosen the Rider of the Week this week, so you can blame him. Honourable mentions, obviously, Bobby and Stefan for their maximums. Knob for his 2 scores this week, 2 very decent scores, guesting for us and for his team a couple of nights before. Shaw, obviously, and Toretto on a purple bike, which seemed very odd around Hyde Road, but I think he's only less than half a second off the track record with it, so obviously doing something right. Limo and Lango was right up there. Probably would have got it if he'd have got his maximum. He lost his bottle in the last heat. My Rider of the Week this week, his best score of the season, 11 plus 2 from 5 rides. It's Cappy.
Hey, Cappy of the Spartans. Well done. I think that's the third Spartan that's been given the Rider of the Week.
Yeah, I think so.
I know Toretto got it, and then this is
DL Shaw 1 week as well, I think.
Yes, DL Shaw, Cappy, and now DL Shaw, Toretto, and Cappy. So congrats to Cappy for getting the Rider of the Week this week. The Spartan's been riding well, so congratulations to Cappy for getting Rider of the Week this week. And of course, we'll have the next Rider of the Week next week. So get yourself on the old gravy train and get yourself all trained up and getting some scores in. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute breather. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at the BGP and SCS previews taking place at Ross Pagana on Sunday. So sit back, relax, and we'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. And welcome back to All Four Back with myself, Chester, Hads, and Shads. Chaps, we're going to move swiftly on to the upcoming matches taking place on Sunday, which is the SCS and BGP rounds taking place at Rospigana in Sweden. Of course, not many rounds left to go, but still all to play for in both categories. We're going to start tonight with the BGP preview. Of course, both meetings take place at the same time on the same night. And look at the draw here, the draw that was done last week on the show. And of course, Hads, you're in this meeting, and a lot of big names, and you weren't at your normal number that you normally have been the last sort of few rounds. But what's your plans for Rospigana?
To score a point, better than last time. To put it now, I have had a few laps actually. The track's pretty.
That's a great plan, Had.
the track's pretty alright, to be fair. Should be some good racing. Yeah, just get as many as I can. Try and upset a few people and get a few points. Just keep ticking over and just try and get some form back for the league, really, for our next match. Because obviously, I haven't rode Newcastle in quite a while. Didn't race in the last time fixture because I was unavailable. So, yeah. So we'll just see how it goes. We do have the one change from last week in the GP as well. We have Sizzler coming back in for this round, who replaces DL Shaw. So good to see Sizzler back in the GP for this round.
He'd be around to give you some encouragement as well, Hads, won't he?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he'll keep you on your toes.
Save that Audi, but yeah, it's one of those. It is what it is. I mean, it's always going to be difficult for somebody like myself in this series, whoever it would have been in qualified, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, it's the best of the best, really, and then a few of us towards the bottom, really. So it is what it is. I'm just looking forward to Capsy winning Heat 1.
against Stephen Powers and Stefan. Oh man. Yeah.
The only way is up after that.
Gate 2, get across Stephen and just hold it there. Now, is this the track that has the figure 8 configuration as well, or is that a different one?
It's
if it is, I'll be perhaps in the wrong track.
No, there is that version. There is something in the middle, but it's not this one. I think it's the other one where you have to do like your pit stop, don't you, and that. But, it is a pretty good track, to be fair. So it should be definitely some good racing.
What's from a neutral perspective, what heat are you looking forward to looking at the most?
Obviously that Heat 1 we mentioned earlier. I mean, don't look at Heat 5. We'll forget that one. Next.
We don't know if Ryan's racing on Wi-Fi, so it might be another case of 5 points from Ryan again. But you never know.
No, I think obviously their Heat 12 volume goes against Stefan as well, and you got Tank and Sizzler in the mix. So I think that'll definitely be a good one.
Sizzler will be certainly there to mix it up with the top guys like he's done before.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that, moving on to the league table of the BGP. Of course, you see there Stefan up top with 71, closely followed by Ryan on 64. I mean, you would think that all Stefan's got to do is literally appear and just keep scoring, and he's won the season again. But it's all about those the bottom few, like Squall's just on the edge of the the cut-off point for the next season. Jet Locker as well, Fakey. But am I right in saying that Jet Locker was a wild card in that one? I think he was, wasn't he? If I'm right in saying.
No,
okay.
he was given a space after someone dropped out.
Ah, yes, of
Was it
course. Yes.
Sizzler?
I think it was
Sizzler?
Sizzler originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Sizzler originally. Yeah.
Mm.
When you think about the qualification for next season, you got Becky saying he's retiring at the end of the season, so he might not be around next season. And if he's not around to run the Norse, if the Norse side of this season will carry on in the league for other teams.
Yeah, that is true.
If you think about only Mackinnon's ridden in the league for another team before. All the other guys are new, only ever ridden for the Norse. So will they all just drop out if Becky's not riding next season, which makes the top 8 a bit more interesting. Then
Yeah.
School's in with a good shout, even Stevens in with a shout, and don't discount 101 for a second place. If Ryan sort of drops his scores, like you said the other night, he was on Wi-Fi. He's not back for this one, and he's scoring like 5-6 points. 101 could be jumping ahead of him in second place.
Yeah.
So don't rule him out.
Power saying there, I'll be shocked if Norse carry on as they are next season. Well, only time will tell, because it's getting towards the tail end of the season. So I said anything could happen. But do you think that the top 3 are pretty much set in stone now? Do you think that those guys, if they keep turning up, are they going to be difficult to catch? Pads?
Yeah, I think the top 3 picks itself really. And then basically, obviously, you got there 6 points from Bobby to squall down in 9th, as you say. It's anybody's. I mean, if Jet Locker puts a couple of good rounds together, who knows what's going to happen? But it definitely gives an interesting ending to see who's going to qualify for next year. I mean, you got to think if Craig, based on the 3 rounds he's done with 42 points, averaging 14 points a round, he'd be 1 behind Stefan. So, obviously Stefan missed a round as well. So he'd definitely be up challenging for that top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this takes place on Sunday. At the same time, we also have the SCS, which also takes place at Ross Pagana. And again, Shad, you're in this meeting. Plenty still to ride for. So what's your take on your thoughts on Ross Pagana? How do you see it? How do you see it unfolding?
Yeah, I had a few laps around there. I was riding a line I thought was pretty quick, and then I had practice with a couple of the Panthers guys, and then got shown that it wasn't the fastest line. had to change my plans on my bike. Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be some good racing. Places where you can pass. Like on the bends, diving on the inside, trying to push people out wide. But I think it's all over at the top. I think Mackinnon's got this one pretty much sewn up. 22 points ahead. Even if he could basically miss a round and still have one good round and still win it. Cappy and Wolfie's been a surprise. He's come to life last couple of meetings, or last 3 meetings really, after his first round 6 points and then missing a meeting. So he's looking quite comfortable for the top 3. If Witcher dropping out this season, he's going to be dropping down the table. There's a chance for likes of Super Dip. I think he's missing this week. Is he missing this round?
No, he's in this round.
Oh, he's in. So Dip's got a chance of qualifying. Lango, obviously, with his form lately, he'd look to score some points. It looks like a track he might do well on. I mean, you could say the top 3 are pretty much thrown up. I could conceivably sneak in there. if Wolsey has a bad meeting, I have a good one. But yeah, it's looking for qualification for next year. There's still a few names under there that could get enough points in the last 2 rounds to get in there. Kaney's obviously out, so he'll be dropping out. Even if someone finishes 12th, they could concede, well, 13th really, could still qualify with Chu and Kaney not being in it.
Yeah, we're just looking at the league table now. So of course, Caney, Bewitcher, and Sculio also not taking part in round 6. But like you said, Mackinnon is pretty much sewn up with the championship there by all accounts. It all depends who gets that next group of riders where they all finish up, because anything's possible. This game, this sport is never scripted, so anything can happen. I mean, you just got to look at it was Powys against Stefan in a runoff for the world title, and I think wasn't it Powys that binned it on the grass? I think it was, or one of those. I just can't remember, but
You're
I
in
remember
trouble
watching
now.
I remember watching the video. Craig showed me the video all those years ago.
You're in, you're in,
Am I right? Am I right in saying it's 21 points if you win all your races? So
Yeah.
that'll put
20 points.
so that put Cappy on what, 97 points.
Yeah.
And Mackinnon just needs 21 points in 2 rounds.
If Cappy can do 2 21-point hauls,
Which is hard to do.
yeah, but I don't think that'll be enough to overhaul Mackinnon. Oh, sorry, it was Craig in the S11 World Final runoff. My apologies, Powers. I thought it was Stefan. My apologies, my man. But yeah, like I said,
you won't say bad work against Craig, will you?
I very rarely do anyway.
They
So.
go to discounted driving lessons.
Discounted driving? No, I'm paying full price for mine. Anyway, this also takes place on Sunday, same night as the BGP. Now we have to, before we finish tonight, we do have to bring in Mr. Tank again, because I believe he has a few words he wants to say. So Tank, what's on your mind, my good sir?
As mentioned last week about next season and hearing what's been said, I can confirm that there are tentative plans in place to commence next season sooner than many would probably assume it would. We are planning to start in mid-January, and obviously details will follow towards the end of this season, but the plan at this moment in time is to start in mid-January, so no one has to have a long off season. It'll go from one to the next straight away, so that's the baseline, so you know roughly when season 20 will start. We are planning for mid-January.
Mid-January for season 20.
Mhm.
Wow. The game's 20 years old. Bloody hell.
Mhm.
Crazy, isn't it? Wow. Are we expecting a few more potential captains, or like maybe teams coming in and more tracks being selected, do you think, Tank?
We'll have to see.
Mm.
And obviously
So we're looking at a 4-week break then, really, because the last meeting's on the 15th of December.
yeah, the league finishes this third week in November. About this, I think it's a week commencing 17th. But obviously we've got the BLRC and the World Championships to finish off the season. But obviously things will start coming to light. Obviously during December or November and December. So yeah. So, and obviously in terms of like details, we will have them out ASAP. We will, obviously it won't be rushed or anything like that, but we will make sure that everyone's informed at the exact same time, and no one wonders what's happening there. So
Well, you heard it here first, chaps. Season 20, potential mid-January. So, let's see what's happening there. So, Winchester can have a ride and slide there around Exeter. Somerset Eagles. Oh, Goldie's off again. Craig gets his event by fencing. Dan. That's oh dear. Well, welcome in, Craig. Good to see you. You joined just as we're finishing the show. Oh dear. So this show will obviously be broadcasted and posted on Saturday at 8 p.m. I do believe, if Tank, that's correct.
correct, yeah.
Cool. So it'll be 8 p.m. where you can listen back to us just waffling on and talking rubbish as we always do on this show. But it's been great being back.
That's just you, Dan.
Actually. Oh dear. Thank you, Hads. Thank you. No, thank you, Shads. In the meantime,
There you go, lads. It took you an hour.
yeah, my apologies, lads. Hopefully next week's show will be back at 8:15 as this one has been. Any information you'll know firsthand through Discord. So in the meantime, I will say a good night to Tank.
Come on.
What was that?
What was that? You know, oh god. I will say good night to Shads.
Night.
A good night to Hadlington.
Good night, all.
And I've been Chester. We
He
will
said
see.
Slango, haha.
Oh, I've got. Before we go, I've just got a message for Lango.
Go on then.
Maximums aren't for everyone, mate.
Oh dear. I've been Chester 430. We'll see you all back here next week for episode 45 of All Four Back. Wherever you're riding, stay safe and yeah, let's go racing, boys. Take care and good night. Cheers.